Guten Morgen muchachos, how are you doing? Welcome back to Football Digest Daily. Kamakawa, my name is Nyash. I hope you're having a fantastic Monday morning like you had a weekend. Yes, I hope your weekend was good. That's why I'm saying so. So mine was good. Very good. Could have been better, but it is what it is. So let's check out what popped up in the world of football because we had a lot of action happening. Started off on Saturday where we had the early kickoff between Nottingham Forest and Liverpool. A Liverpool that was coming off the back of beating Manchester City and keeping a clean sheet, and beating West Ham United and keeping a clean sheet. But against Nottingham Forest is where they draw the line. I think Liverpool hawataki kupiga hizi timu ziko chini sana zingine. Hawataki. I mean, I don't even know now because they lost to Arsenal, the top team. They have lost to Nottingham Forest, the bottom team. I don't think they discriminate. Wanapoteza tu everywhere. Wenye tu wanataka. So, another L in the bag for Liverpool against Nottingham Forest. That was shocking. And it's true, venye wanasemanga, ogopa ali kickoff. Ogopa ali kickoff. It happened exactly like that. But I had someone saying, OSG Klopp is being a climate activist now. He's destroying cities and conserving forests. So, yeah. And I'll fight in the next climatic annual meeting. Yeah, UN. Maybe he has some point or two to share. Maybe he does. Then after that, so Liverpool, I think they are now what? 7th? Yeah, they have 4 draws, 4 wins, and 3 losses. I think they just need another L just to make it even, to even it out. Then itakuwa too sour for them, in my opinion. Then after that, we had 2 games being played at 5 p.m. I don't know why they have 2 games being played at 5 p.m. on a Saturday. Alafu waneka 3 games being played on a Sunday at 4 p.m. I don't understand. Some of these games, like Aston Villa Brentford was played yesterday at 4 p.m. should have been on Saturday. Makes no sense. Leeds United versus Fulham should have been played on Saturday, but yeah, it is what it is. Brighton were up against Manchester City. They lost that game 3-1. Beautiful goals by a man like KDB. Oh my God, that was a beauty. Typical KDB, by the way. So naive of Brighton to give him that space, but yeah, it is what it is. Brighton seemed at some point like they might rally themselves back into the game when they were 2-0 down. They made it 2-1, courtesy of Trossard. And then, you know, KDB akafanya mambo yake, then ikakuwa 3-1, and that was the end of the road. Brighton, again, now have not won any of their last, is it 5 games now? Yes, that coach, W, drew with, I think, Nottingham Forest during the week. Now he's lost to Manchester City. Before then, he had lost to who? To Tottenham, drawn with Liverpool. I mean, he just can't win yet so far. So, yeah, wanashuka tu pole. Manchester City, of course, keeping abreast of Arsenal. They scored 3 goals. I think the first time they have scored, it's a record. That was last done 91 years ago, where the home team scored more than 3 or more goals at home in consecutive matches in the league. 3+ goals, yani over 2.5 for 10 consecutive games at home. That's a record for Manchester City, of course. And then took them, I think, 1 point below Arsenal. Then we had another game being played at 5 p.m. To do with who? Is it Everton Crystal Palace? It was being played on Sunday. Yeah, I think it's that. Everton Crystal Palace. And Everton won that game 3-0. They are back of form. Yes, they're doing good. Lampard is doing all right, while his counterpart at Aston Villa is getting the sack. He's on the way up. Yes, Dwight McNeil with a fantastic goal. Iwobi, again, crucial and instrumental. Calvert-Lewin got back into scoring ways, assisted by Iwobi. I think Iwobi had 2 assists in that game. Iwobi and come through Vizuri just fine. For Everton, just fine. Then, of course, we had the last late kickoff on Saturday between Chelsea and Man United, a game that is a typical... I don't even know what typical what. If you're looking for a lackluster game, look no further than Chelsea and Man United. I mean, before they scored the first goal, which was scored during the 70th minute, dull game, bro. Nilikuwa like, yani tumekuja tao kupigwa na upepo kuona 0-0. And I mean, these guys are used to drawing. I think the last 4 meetings between those 2 teams in the league have been draws. And that was continued on Saturday. 1-1 draw. Chelsea scored first courtesy of penalty by Jorginho. And then Casemiro got his first goal for United in the well-taken header. Kepa almost saved it. Yeah, so goal and technology had to come through and it was in. First goal for Casemiro. And yeah, looking at that final score, you feel like this is a very deserved final score. No one deserved all the 3 points here. Wote walikuwa tu hivi. And ndio Chelsea wenye tunafaa tupigwe na wao on November 6th. Nah, it's not happening. Yeah, but yeah, that's story for another day. So that was that. Varane came out injured in that game, and it seems like he might be missing out maybe on the World Cup because he was very freaking emotional. Seems like an injury that might cost take him more than a month to recover. So yeah, he was very emotional for that game. So poor for him. And of course now that brings issues to Man United, or does it? I mean, Lindelof and the Butcher, maybe they can form a partnership. Maybe, maybe not. Time will tell on that one. Ronaldo, of course, did not play, did not feature. He's out of the squad because of his antics on, was it on Wednesday when they were playing against Spurs? Big balls by Ten Hag to actually kick him out. Brian called it testicular fortitude. He has to have testicular fortitude to do such things. Then on Sunday, we had 4 games being played at 4 p.m. Arsenal up against Southampton, a bogey team that has a knack of just picking points from us when you're playing at their own backyard. But then I'm like, hey, St. Mary's, you don't beat the Saints on a Sunday. I mean, heshimu religion. Kasi hivyo, heshimu Mungu. And you had Jesus on the squad. They know Jesus is going to beat his Saints. Makes a lot of sense now because Jesus had, I think, like 3 chances he could have scored. He did not. He was like, nah, you're my people. You're my peeps. I'm not doing that to you on a Sunday. I mean, of all the days. Yeah, so we did not beat Southampton, man. A draw. The first time we have drawn this season. Second time we have dropped points. Now we are 2 points above Manchester City. Not the result we wanted, but it's not an L. It's still a step forward, to be honest. Just a small step. That's the difference. So, first half we were dominant, and then some absolutely annihilated Southampton, and then second half was vice versa. They were the dominant team. Totally, walitupeleka mbio mbaya. Second half tumekimbizwa. We had a couple of chances, like I said, not clinical enough. And of course now I'm thinking, Jesus, we need more from you now. Now I know he knows that he needs to score more goals. He just now actually needs to score more goals. Because when Saka and Martinelli are not scoring, Jesus has to be there in the mix. He can't be one of the guys who is also not scoring. So Arsenal 1-1 draw with Southampton. Before that, at the same time, you had Aston Villa versus Brentford. Aston Villa just sacked Gerrard during the week. And yes, hii sack race inaenda vizuri. Walisema Gerrard, Arteta, Lampard, sijui and who else, sack race, teke. Guess who looks like he's not going anywhere? Yes, Mikel. So Gerrard was sacked by Aston Villa, and boy, they bounced back like crazy. 4-0. Beating Brentford. Brentford zielewangu. Brentford wametoka kupiga Brighton 2-0. Wamekanyangwa kama wezi na Aston Villa. Before they beat Brighton 2-0, walikuwa wametoka kupigwa 5-1 by Newcastle. So it's a very topsy-turvy team, this one. Takes L's and W's very, very seriously. Yes, they don't choose. Ni L, I'm a W. L, W, L, W, like that. Ka LW breeder. Then we also had the Fulham versus Leeds United. Leeds United lost that game 3-2. Leeds United have now collected 2 points out of a possible 24. Jesse Msewasoka is in trouble. That smells like trouble to me when you collect 2 points out of a possible 20. That's 2 points in 8 games. Basically, you have not won that game. Any game in the last 8. It's just 2 draws. That's not good. That's not a recipe for prosperity at Leeds United. And by that virtue, they are now 17th in the league. They're in the bottom 3. The other team in the bottom 3, besides Nottingham, or it's between Nottingham and Leeds United, is man like Wolves. Wolverhampton Wanderers were clapped a good one by Leicester City, 4-0. Leicester off the bottom, they are now 16th. Obviously, I feel like Leicester had good quality to get out of there, and I told the guys who are shooting a podcast with, they'll definitely be getting out of the bottom 3, and they did. Some very good goals. Yuri Telemans maze with a golazo. That's definitely a proper contender for goal of the month, if not goal of the season. Well struck goal. So yeah, Leicester off the bottom. Then after that, we had the last game, Spurs, Newcastle. Newcastle were in form, were form buyer. They have not lost a game since August. Yes, the last time they lost a game was in August to Liverpool. In that process, they have kept the best goal. They have the best defense in terms of conceding goals. They have conceded only 10. Then we have Arsenal, Man City after that with 11. But damn, 10 goals conceded for Newcastle, and they outplayed and outthought Spurs in their own backyard. Spurs wanakuja tu kuketi, but you know Spurs, they don't dominate. Ni waseadi wakiwa home, ni wakuketi, sit back, hit these guys on the counter attack. I'm like, what kind of haram football is that? But then again, nothing is new here. I mean, it's the history of the Tottenham. You know, it's the history of the Tottenham, bottling. The only new thing here, I think, is Conte's hairline. Yeah, because he doesn't have any. He's not supposed to be having any. So, yeah, Spurs bottling at home, not news at all. Yes, and that win takes Newcastle to 21 points into the top 4. Yep, they are in the fucking top 4 and they have knocked Chelsea out. Newcastle are form. And speaking of form, if there's one man who's in form like crazy, is Miguel Almiron. I bought him just in time, Pale FPL. Just in time, Pale FPL, because he's giving me good points. He had a very good goal against Spurs. He had a very good goal, I think, midweek when they beat Everton. He had a very good goal when they beat that. Which team are they playing over the weekend? Oh, no, they drew with Man United over the weekend. But yeah, he's doing good. 5 in 5 for a guy who I think had, 5 goals in the last 64 games. Crazy. So Newcastle are on the way up for sure. That's no lie. So that's that. Arsenal still on top, 2 points above Manchester City. Spurs still third with 23 points, and Newcastle with 21 points. Elsewhere, we had La Liga happening. I mean, this one is a bit obvious. Madrid won against Sevilla 3-1. Hizi teams zinapiga tu kupiga. Barcelona beat Athletic Club 4-0. Yes, good goals by kina Dembele pia ako form baya. In Syria, we had Roma up against Napoli. The only huge game was the Salt, and Roma lost that game. They were beaten by Napoli 1-0. They beat the master of such wins. Mourinho alikutwa kwake na akakuwa clapped kwake in his own style. Yes, I think Napoli now are still on the top, courtesy of Osimhen. Nothing else happened anywhere else worth talking about. Union Berlin, I think they're still top of the Bundesliga. You should check out the fan camps by the way we did for the Manchester versus Chelsea game, or Chelsea versus Manchester, with Eric calling us Union Berlin. Tutashuka tu. Hii elephant on top of the tree. This tree must be very strong. Bado imeshikilia bado, it must be very strong. In F1, which was happening at 1 a.m. today, Max Verstappen won it, and out of that win, he also gave Red Bull the Constructors' Championship. I mean, Max alikuwa shashinda the championship. It was in the bag, done and dusted. But now Red Bull were competing for the Constructors' Championship, of which they bagged. Carlos Sainz went from pole to last in less than 10 seconds. Yes. Courtesy of George Russell, of course. He knocked him on the side and gave him a puncture, and that was it for him. Hamilton, for some point, finally the GOAT will get a W here, because Mercedes-Benz, W zimekosekana. Hii season hatupati. But yeah, he finished second behind, of course, Max Verstappen, and that was the Austin Grand Prix, or the Texas Grand Prix. It was happening in the US. In one of those weird timelines. Yes. So that's folks. Have a fantastic week. God bless. This week we have the Champions League coming back. And we also have, of course, the Europa League. That's night football squeezy night. Shikambaya. We'll be telling you more about our podcast this week, if we shall be having it or not. In the meantime, go watch the fun camps we did for the Chelsea versus Manchester United game. It was fun. Listen to the podcast we shot last week on Spotify, Football Digest KE, or Extra Digest Podcast. You'll go check it out over there. It's there, up and loaded. Have a fantastic week. God bless.